Hello there, welcome to Blitz Transmissions. This is the Blitzcast number 64. I'm Tommy. Before we get into the content of this week's episode of the Blitzcast, as always, you could check out the laundry list of links that can be found in the description below. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube and you're not yet subscribed, or if you're not watching on YouTube and you're not yet subscribed, subscribe over here on YouTube because I've got awesome Star Wars content coming out all the time. If you're an ARC Trooper in my Patreon, you would have seen this podcast episode early. If you'd like access to early content, monthly giveaways, and other awesome benefits, the link to my Patreon is in the description below. Become an ARC Trooper for just $4.99 a month. If you're a fan of the reviews I do here on YouTube, or you'd like to support the YouTube channel more directly, you could also check out my YouTube channel membership, Rancor Battalion. For just 99 cents a month, it gives you access to exclusive badges, priority replies in my comments section, all my reviews early as opposed to all my content, like you get with Patreon, but like the Patreon, you do get to vote on what I review next for the channel. If you'd like some Blitz Transmissions swag, like, this 3" by 3" die-cut sticker on this Blitz Transmissions sticker for this Owala water bottle, then you can check out the Blitz Transmissions Armory over on Printify. The link to that is in the description below, as well as links to my Discord server, my Instagram, my Blitz Bounties Instagram, my X, my TikTok, and my email, blitztransmissions@gmail.com. Well, it has been quite some time since we've had this guest on the podcast. This episode sponsored by Carbonites. Vincent from Carbonites actually said, hey, when is the next time we're going to see Jen on the Blitzcast? So, everybody, back by very popular demand, Jennifer.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
It's been a while. It really has been a while now that I think about it.
Yeah, you hate me.
I do. So. We had like a divorce in the midst of this.
Yeah, and then we came back together.
And then you know this is why you should never sign the prenup, is because then I almost lost half of my collection.
Yeah.
You know, so. Or is it why you do sign the prenup?
Yeah, that's why you do sign.
That's why you do sign the prenup. Always sign the prenup, people. Or else she's gonna take the kids and she's gonna take half your Star Wars collection.
Are you gonna make me sign a prenup?
Yeah. For the collection, yeah. What's mine is yours, what's yours is mine, unless it's anything on camera. Or the lat hat. You can have the lat hat, though, because I have 2 of those. That's
crazy. We're not.
Speaking of, there's going to be a Blitz Transmissions giveaway coming up soon that may include a lat hat. Shout out to JWC924, member of the Patreon moderator in the Blitz Transmissions Discord, for donating a lat hat for a giveaway. Well, he commissioned my dad, Bly, to make one, but then the shipping was going to be like $50. So they were like, yeah, we'll just use it as a giveaway then. I was like, cool, that works for me. I can do that. Real quick, I just want to get into some housekeeping stuff. Jen, is there anything you want to tell anybody?
I'm still doing my podcast for your wives or girlfriends if you're or you
if you're like gentrified or like you know like domesticated then yeah.
So my podcast is The Real Normal Podcast on Spotify or Apple Music or any of your listening apps. iHeartRadio it's also on there.
Yeah.
So I'm still doing that fairly regularly, and so check that out if you want.
If you are so inclined.
If you're so inclined.
Maybe I'll even link it in the bio.
If you want to. You don't have to.
We'll link
to
the Real Normal Pod.
But
you have a link tree?
I do have a link
I'll probably
tree.
just link that then.
Yeah. Check out my Instagram.
We're like a content creator couple,
yeah,
you know?
You're right.
There was like a whole lawsuit that happened in the last couple months.
Right, yeah.
That was part of it as well.
Yeah, any food that I show on my Instagram, that's what I get in the prenup.
Right. The food that was in my belly. All
I
right.
don't know.
So, we just some casual updates, some housekeeping things. Since the last Blitzcast episode, not a whole lot of videos this past week, and that is because this last week, #Black Series Most Wanted officially launched, and we have had an overwhelming amount of support. We're still trying to branch out and get as many people talking about Black Series Most Wanted as possible. So currently, you will find the link to the Instagram page that takes you to Black Series Most Wanted, and you will also have the link for the poll, the Google form. There's a post on my YouTube channel. I've posted it on all my social media. You can find the Google form where you can submit your top 12 most wanted Star Wars characters to be made in action figure form in the Black Series, or you can also choose updates to existing figures. If you want a new figure to be made better or made again, then you can do that. I
submitted mine.
Jen submitted. Did you actually? You told me you were going. Oh. So it's going to go until December 28th. So you guys pretty much have the entire month of December to get that out. But make sure you do it sooner than later because you don't want to forget about it. And then like a lot of people do with HasLab projects, they wait until the very end and then it crashes because there's too many people trying to access it all at once. I don't foresee that happening with Black Series Most Wanted, but you'll probably forget about it if you don't do it right now. So make sure you submit to Black Series Most Wanted. We've already passed 250 submissions in under 2 days. So we're well on the way to 500. That's kind of my goal, is to get to 500 submissions. Hopefully we get there. If not, still, this is the first time we've ever done it. Having more than 250 is a great sample size.
Give Tommy a good Christmas gift and submit your form so that he gets to 500. It's not just Tommy, but...
Me, Skywalker Hendrix, 212 Hunters, Stone Mandalorian Collector, Star Wars Collective, Commander Cook, Hybrid Toy Reviews, Shelf Life, Fig Fury, Sarlacc Digest, Shadow Nose Network. I think that's like the group of people that are actually working on it. But yeah, last I looked, let's do a live check right now. Why don't we? Well on the way to 500. We're on the better half of the responses needed to get 500. We have 293 submissions right now.
Whoa.
And for the first 3 days, that's it. It's pretty damn good. Yeah, so you can check out, we did have the Black Series Most Wanted kickoff live stream here on Blitz Transmissions. That took place this past Monday. You can check out the replay on that live stream, as well as 2 other live streams that I did. This past Sunday, I did the latest, it was number 5 of the Blitz Barracks, and on that I had my friends, Star Wars Collective, Hybrid Toy Reviews, 212 Hunter, Carbonites, Vincent from Carbonites, and the Stoned Mandalorian Collector. So that was a really fun stream. It was, I mean, we always have fun, but yeah, it was a good time. And then I did also do the giveaway stream for the December Patreon giveaway, which was the Jazzwares Micro Galaxy Squadron AAT Battle Tank CIS, the 1 of 5,000 Chase variant. Shout out to JWC924. That's not who won. Idiot. It is Your Casual Clone. JWC won last month's giveaway. Your Casual Clone won this month's giveaway. So shout out to Your Casual Clone. He's been a boy of mine, a day one since my days on the 1313 podcast. So shout out Your Casual Clone, one of the best Star Wars action figure customizers out there, period. He's out in Germany. Awesome dude. Yeah, that's I think that's all I have. Oh, and the day this, I also have a review that's out right now. One review came out this week for the Jazzwares Micro Galaxy Squadron TIE Striker. So that's a cool one. It's a cool little ship. I mean, it's fun. Most of the Micro Galaxy ships are cool. And then as of the day this comes out, so today at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, I am going to be a guest on the Toy Talk and Live Chat live show on Sith Lord 229's YouTube channel. Shout out Sith Lord 229. I'm going to be on with him and his co-hosts Daniel East 1000 and RoboQuiff Collects. We've been chatting it up a little bit. I'm really excited to stream with these guys. We're doing a Christmas themed stream. We're going to talk Black Series Most Wanted, all kinds of other cool stuff too. I think I've babbled on long enough. So that's all that you can... What?
That was a crazy.
Oh,
Discover.
Eating chicken wings, or what were they doing?
No, Discover page.
Wow.
Pull. Whoa.
All right, AI. All right. Anyway, AI is melting everyone's brains. No. So the topic this week on the Blitzcast, Jen and I were kind of like, okay, we want to have Jen back on the show. Like, let's come up with something to talk about. And with Jen, I try to be courteous to the fact that she hasn't seen things like 03 Clone Wars, and she doesn't know the difference between the RG-4D blaster and the Blurg 1120 blaster. So we have to kind of, understand that not everybody is as obsessive as I am when it comes to Star Wars. So we realized, looking back, I don't think we ever talked about... I know that when we finished our watch through of Star Wars, which took us almost 2 years to do, that we talked about, like, we watched Resistance, like we did an episode on that. We also did like an episode about like the Rise of Skywalker, like, finishing out the sequel trilogy. But we never did a dedicated episode about what it was like to watch all of Star Wars that was out at the time, because we were also watching new Star Wars as it came out throughout those last 2 years, and you guys know a lot of Star Wars came out in the last 2 years. We never talked about what that experience was like, especially for you, Jen, being your first time seeing a lot of the stuff. Not, of course, you've seen some of the movies beforehand, but a lot of the shows and everything you'd never seen, and we watched them all in timeline order, going so far as to break down, like, okay, these couple episodes of Tales of the Jedi, and then Phantom Menace, finish Tales of the Jedi, keep going on. Well, we didn't finish Tales of the Jedi until after Clone Wars was done, but it was a lot of fun for me, and I did want to have a conversation with you, because this is a big debate in the Star Wars fandom. It is probably one of the most hotly debated topics in all of Star Wars. Everybody has a different opinion on it, but the two main camps are watching things in timeline order versus, specifically with the movies, watching 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and then maybe or maybe not 7, 8, and 9. So I'll give you the floor, Jen. Kind of catch everyone up to speed. We have a lot of new viewers.
Oh, okay.
So since the last time you were on, and some people might not be familiar with what that whole process was like, so maybe if you want to get into like the process of what we did, how we did it, and then kind of we'll just go from there. Yeah.
Okay. So Tommy and I just celebrated our 3-year anniversary.
Woo!
And I bring that up because we started watching Star Wars a month into our relationship.
Was it that early?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So...
And I got you going right away.
Yeah, we moved fairly quickly. We met each other's families, and then we started watching Star Wars. It was...
Okay, but it's important context. Jen and I also knew each other and were friends in high school.
That's not important.
Important context. Yeah.
I'm just saying that so that for context of like how we watched everything. So,
we watched Star Wars, got married, and then met each other's families.
Yeah. Priorities.
Yeah.
So a month out of from us running into each other again, and started dating. Tommy was visiting me at my college apartment.
Yes. You lived about an hour south of where I lived.
We would try to see each other like every weekend was the goal. So every weekend we would try to either watch a movie for Star Wars, watch a couple episodes of Clone Wars, wherever we were at in the timeline. What I had seen before this process started was all 9 movies. I had watched the original trilogy when I was a kid. And then I had seen the prequel trilogy at some point in like middle school-ish.
Yeah, something like that.
Early high school. And then I had seen all 3 sequel trilogy movies in the theaters when they came out.
Right.
And Rogue One. So I'd seen
Rogue One.
All 10 major movies.
Yes.
But I actually saw sequel trilogy and Rogue One in theaters.
Right.
I was already a true Star Wars fan before I met Tommy. No, my brothers are really into Star Wars. So my brothers would buy... I'm pretty sure there was a couple Christmases where their Christmas gift was getting us all tickets to go see Star Wars. And it's like, thanks.
I get to go do this thing with you now.
That you want to do. No, but it was great because my dad really loves, obviously, the OT original trilogy.
The or as we call it, Fig Fury will know, the obsolete trilogy. All jokes. Yeah,
so my dad always likes to talk about how he saw all the movies in theaters when they came out. So my dad and my brothers were really into it. I was scared of Darth Vader when I was growing up.
Really?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I was scared of everything. Mostly scared of Gollum from the Lord of the Rings movies. That was my nightmare. That was my sleep paralysis demon. Was Gollum. I had, like, sleep terrors, but we won't get into that. Anyways, so going into this endeavor, I had, you know, baseline knowledge. I knew who Darth Vader was in relation to Luke Skywalker. Right. I knew that Han and Leia end up together. I knew that Luke and Leia were siblings. What else? I knew that... You
knew, like, the basics.
Yeah, I knew who Chancellor Palpatine turned to Emperor Palpatine was. You know, like, just that type of stuff. Definitely didn't catch any of the nuance, didn't catch any politics, any of the corruption that's a part of the prequel trilogy. Didn't know any of the Glepshidos names that are in the original trilogy. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
So
I feel like a lot of that stuff, like, you would have to call yourself a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
To know that kind of stuff.
No, just knew the basic Act 1, Climax, Act 2, and situation. So, when Tommy and I started dating, and I realized that this was just going to be a part of our lives.
Well, it was really funny because I love to tell this story. On our first date, I was still with 1313 Podcasts, and I said to you, yeah, I have a podcast. And you were like, oh.
This was, like, at the height of Andrew Tate, like, being a thing. And,
imagine shooting a man
like,
with your last bullet.
I mean, like, I still think that these podcasts are out there, but
this was like right when, like, alpha male podcasts
or
kind
like
of content was like
everywhere.
Yeah.
Like right after the pandemic was like slowing down.
Right.
And so I was like, you definitely saw it on my face that I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, okay, I guess we'll never see each other again.
And then I was like, yeah, it's about Star Wars.
I was like, oh, okay.
Immediately, tone changed. I thought I was losing her. I was like, oh, okay. I told her I have a podcast. That already is like a little bit of like a, you know, you're
cringe.
Yeah, it's a little cringe to some people, but
I mean, look at you.
I'm wearing. I'm not cringe. I'm a cool guy, as I have my. Completely forgot I had it on too. Like, I'm being fully transparent. You called attention to it. I'm like, oh, nice.
You look so good.
Thanks. My dad made it. My dad made this.
What's those like TikToks like? Are you scared that he's gonna cheat? And then it's just a clip of you doing that. No. Anyways, so.
Well, where's Tom? Well, he's either eating, sleeping, or in his Star Wars room. One of the three. Or he's at work.
Or he's at work.
Yeah.
Works a lot.
Yeah.
Provides for this family.
Yeah.
I tell Cody, because he gets mad when Tommy has to leave.
Cody's our dog.
Cody's our dog.
Named after Clone Commander Cody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whenever Tommy has to go to work again, and he's like throwing a fit. He's
moping
crying,
around the
moping
house.
around. I'm like, Daddy's the only one who gets money, so if you want more treats, you have to let him go to work. Okay, where was I?
So we were talking about like how you were like a service level fan.
Yeah, service
but not
level
like
fan.
Not like you didn't know like the docking bay number the Millennium Falcon is in.
I definitely still don't know
docking
that.
bay 94.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll lock that in.
What a piece of junk.
I'll keep that in the long-term memory.
Thanks.
For sure.
Thanks.
It's gone already. So yeah, once like we started talking and I'm realizing that if I want to continue to see this person, I'm gonna have to get on board in some way to Star Wars.
Yeah, it's like realizing like the person you're with is like in a cult.
Yeah,
you know?
like I either am like super lame and like just kind of tolerate it and don't get into it with you, so I can't even participate in the things that you enjoy. Yeah. Or I can just embrace it. And I mean, I am a movie, TV, and book
girly
enjoyer. So I do love a good story. So I wasn't like opposed to watching a new world.
A whole new world. I need to stop or they're gonna cut this out for copyright because it was so good.
Yeah, they were gonna
think singing was just so good.
They're gonna think it's
wow. He's
real.
Literally Jasmine from Aladdin.
Literally.
Yeah. So what we did was we went through the entire Star Wars timeline. So kind of like I alluded to before, I went through timeline order every episode of every show chronologically instead of doing, because I personally, I've always found when I show people Star Wars for the first time that going the 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3 route doesn't really work as well as it maybe would have 20, 30 years ago because not everyone can appreciate movies from the 70s and 80s. It's just the truth. I think that the original trilogy are fantastic movies. You guys know A New Hope is my favorite Star Wars movie of them all. I love it even more than the prequel trilogy and, all the others. But even, as much as a prequel kid as I am, A New Hope is still my favorite. But they're older movies. People are not used to the pacing of the original trilogy because movies are not made that way anymore. So I have found, if you want to get people engaged in Star Wars, that starting with the prequel trilogy and going chronologically through the story. And then the other main reason that I chose this method for you specifically was because it's a lot easier when we're going from project to project to just say, all right, and then in universe, this much time has passed since what we just watched, rather than going, all right, so we'll watch the original trilogy, and then, okay, now these movies are 30 years before that movie. Right. Okay, and then Clone Wars takes place between these two movies. Okay, but then, this is in that 3-year gap and all this. But then there's also this Tales of the Jedi episode that happens, like, in the midst.
Right.
It's just too much. And unless you are a fan, this is actually something I've talked about with Shelf Life and Hunter, 212th Hunter recently. Obligatory 212th Hunter mention. We've been talking about how there's like different levels of Star Wars. Like there's Star Wars like The Mandalorian. Anybody can watch The Mandalorian and you can know nothing about the universe and get it and understand it.
Right.
Whereas a show like The Bad Batch, you're entering right at the end of the Clone Wars and you're going into this transition period between the Republic and the Galactic Empire. So there's a lot less that's explained to you and a lot more of it can seem confusing unless you already have pre-existing knowledge of what already happened in the story around Bad Batch.
Right.
So I guess for you, how was it for you? Because I remember we started with like a couple Tales of the Jedi episodes, and then we watched Phantom Menace. What was that process? Do you feel like it was better than maybe if we would have watched it 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3?
I definitely liked watching it in chronological order so that I could fill in the pieces that like I kind of knew the plot points. I guess that's where like I'm kind of in between whether or not if you're watching everything for the very first time without any context and like there are people that literally don't know the Luke, I am your father scene.
It's actually...
I knew you were going to do this. I knew I said it wrong, and I knew you were going to correct me. Go ahead.
It's not Luke, I am your father. That's what pop culture has turned it into. It is, no, I am your father.
Right, okay.
No, that's not true. That's impossible! I won't do the rest.
Okay.
Search. No, I'm just kidding.
You know.
You know it to be true.
Anyways.
Search your feelings.
Okay. So what
Turn the voice box off on.
What I'm saying is, I don't know if I'm in between, because I see a value in me watching the original trilogy, like, just cause, like,
right.
You know, as a kid, kind of getting the vibe, and then knowing the basic plots, and then watching it full on with all the other shows and the other information, and being able to, like, puzzle piece it together.
Right.
But I also can see, like, if you watch it fully from, like, without any context, watching it in chronological order, you're watching the full story unfold.
Right.
Or you do, or you do it the way that it's intended, and you get the, no, I am your father, and then you learn who his father was. Like, there's value in that approach as well.
There is, yeah.
So I gave a non-answer. But I did really like watching it in chronological order with having some context clues.
Yeah, what were some things that, you know, because, again, you've already seen the movies before we went through. A lot of this was us watching a lot of the shows.
Okay, let me just say, and when I say I'd watched all the movies, I remembered the basic plot of the first 6.
Your eyeballs had looked at the screen
yeah. I knew the basic plot of the first 6. I didn't remember a single plot point of Rogue One. I didn't remember anything past, like, me thinking that A Force Awakens was the same thing as A New Hope. And, like, the scene in The Last Jedi when Kylo Ren goes, "You're nothing, you come from nothing." That's genuinely... And I'm Rey Skywalker. That's all I remembered from Rogue One. And the
Rey who?
Like, that's genuinely all I could remember. So when I say that, it's very loose. I really enjoyed watching the Clone Wars, like, fully in between Attack of the Clones and
Revenge of the Sith.
Right. Because it was enough time spent that I forgot that Anakin turned into Darth Vader. Like, until, like, the last season. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, wait. This is...
Because you're so much more attached to him.
I'm so much more attached.
Yeah.
You actually see his back and forth. You actually see how he goes from moody, just kind of like
bratty
teenager through a war where he has this humor at the start of Revenge of the Sith, and then becomes a Sith Lord. Like,
right, you only get the beginning and the end. You don't get any of the meat and potatoes of the actual conflict that happens between.
I really enjoyed spending time watching all of the Clone Wars through without, like we just did it based off of, we did it based off of arcs, not necessarily, like, episode
correct
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So
right, because even the Clone Wars in and of itself is out of order. If you watch it in release order, it's an anthology series. Now, after, like, season 2, they really cleaned it up, and they really, like, started to make it, you know, a lot more linear. But in those beginning couple seasons, it was very all over the place. I mean, the first episode of chronologically of the Clone Wars, I'm struggling over here, is Cat and Mouse. Season 2, episode 16 is the first chronological episode that leads into the Clone Wars movie.
Oh.
Yeah. Right.
I see.
So, and it's all the same storyline. leads into the Clone Wars movie.
I forgot about
So even that, I think watching the Clone Wars chronologically helps if you're trying to really understand the story. However, when you're a kid and you're just watching the show week to week on Cartoon Network, an anthology series is fun because you're kind of figuring out what goes where, and you can have the chance to bring back characters that maybe had died earlier on or something like that, and it still makes sense in the continuity of the universe.
Right.
Do you so you would say that you think that would you say that you think it's important to watch the Clone Wars in between watching the prequel trilogy if you're like a first-time viewer?
Yeah, if you're, especially as an adult, like diving into the whole thing, every person I have talked to since we've done this, where I've promoted watching Star Wars and diving into the universe, I've said it's important for you to watch the Clone Wars animated show. Don't look past the fact that it's a kids show at the start.
Right.
Because I think, especially if this is your first time watching pretty much anything, and you see this kiddie show that was on Cartoon Network, you think you're too good for it, and it's cinema. It's beautiful.
Absolute cinema.
It is. I mean, you get so attached to the characters, and I've just told people, I'm like, look up a list. You can find them online of the best way to watch it, and I have recommended watching it chronologically, so that they get the understanding that you're missing when you're just kind of watching it.
Right.
Based off of release order. So I've told people to do it that way.
Wow.
Did you know that?
Yeah. You might have mentioned it to me a time or two. That, you'd be talking to people at work or friends.
Oh, yeah. I freak my coworkers out because once I get going,
she just goes.
I
mean, there's a reason that Morai is tattooed on her body now.
I actually do have a Star Wars tattoo.
And it's it's a deep cut. It's not like a,
deep cut Clone Wars Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Tattoo.
Goo goo gaga baby bullshit, as some people would say. But no, Clone Wars is actually a peak show.
No, it's peak. I mean, I cried multiple times, not just at the end, when people died.
You sobbed at the end of Clone Wars.
Oh my gosh, it's I've been actually itching to rewatch the last few episodes of Clone Wars and
Siege of Mandalore
and Revenge of the Sith. Been itching for
some emotional
turmoil. I think I've been too happy. I think
after the divorce, we got back together.
Yeah, we've been doing so good ever since I got his money back. So I just need something to spice it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I just want to cry.
I can't be toxic anymore.
So I can't be toxic.
I can't gaslight her anymore. So yeah, it's part of the restraining order that
Yeah, right.
But yeah, and then in the midst of this, we were also watching new Star Wars. So in the midst of us going through the timeline. For example, we watched Ahsoka, and you hadn't seen Rebels yet.
Right.
But then we watched Rebels, and then watched Ahsoka a second time through. Yeah. What was this is another great example. Again, we were talking about trailers to Star Wars earlier. Do you think that it made a difference for you watching Ahsoka after having seen Rebels?
Absolutely. After watching Ahsoka, you were like, this is amazing. You were freaking out. You're like, this is so amazing. The only time I had an emotional response to Ahsoka was when Anakin appeared to her.
Hey, Snips.
Yeah, that was I was like, oh my god. But the whole rest of the time I was like, okay,
it's a show.
I like it.
I like it.
But I thought Sabine was super annoying. I still don't love Sabine. She's not my favorite.
Is it more the way she's written, or is it Natasha Liu Bordizzo's performance that you're
No, it's just the way she's written.
Okay.
I didn't love her in Rebels either.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge Sabine fan in Rebels either.
Not saying there's a place for every personality.
It's because she was a girl.
No. We have a whole podcast episode about all the women in Star Wars that
when
I
we
love.
got when Blitz transmissions went woke.
I was gonna say viral.
Oh, viral.
We went viral. How many? We got 200 views on
Blitz
that.
transmissions sold out and went woke, man.
No, there's so many well-written women in Star Wars. Check out that episode. It's like episode 2 of the Blitzcast or something like that.
Go down. Let's see. Women getting woke. I literally called it getting woke.
Yeah.
Number
7.
Number 7.
Yeah,
Lucky number
check
7.
it out.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, so I didn't love Sabine, especially when I watched Ahsoka without watching Rebels.
Right.
And I didn't know why we cared about Jesus, Ezra in the weird, the nomad people.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
All right.
What are we doing?
What's
and
going
you were
on?
like, oh, that's sick. And I'm like, okay. So, yeah, I did not have that much of a response.
Right.
And had we finished Clone Wars when Ahsoka came out?
We had definitely finished Clone Wars, but I know for a fact we had not watched Rebels yet. The first time we watched Ahsoka.
I know that.
And that's a huge contributing factor. I mean, you didn't know anything that happened with Ahsoka in Rebels.
Right.
I don't even think you knew Ahsoka was in Rebels other than me telling you she was in Rebels.
Right.
And you didn't know anything. You didn't care about Hera. You didn't care about Sabine or Ezra for that matter.
I still have we have another episode about Ahsoka, but I still have my quips about the way they styled Hera, but that's for another time.
A good story for another time.
Yeah. So, yeah, there was some jumbling, but all good stuff.
Yeah.
It took us a really long time to go through everything.
It did. It took us almost 2 years.
And that was with us, we'll watch it during meals,
Oh, dude, we were grinding for a while there.
Knock it out.
Yeah.
I mean, Resistance, when we got to Resistance, we were
oh, dude.
we just had to watch 3 episodes in a row and just
We dragged ass for a couple months before we even started watching
Yeah.
it. So I was like, Jen, you are not going to enjoy the show. And I don't remember this on my first watch through, but on my second watch through, I was like, dude, season 1 is better than season 2. I'll say it.
Significantly better.
Yeah. Season 2 is so
just
directionless.
Awful.
Yeah.
Terrible. Season 1 was I literally said when we finished season 1, I'm like, hate to say it, but I kind of like it.
Other than everybody's favorite Tam Rivora.
Literal Nazi Tam. And then we were trying to save her. I'm like, you're not you went from Nazi sympathizer to a Nazi.
Literal actual Nazi.
Space Nazi. Okay. Go off.
But she's still our friend, which okay.
Was she?
Was she your friend though?
Yeah, was she?
This was the problem, is that they didn't convince me as the viewer that 1, she could be saved, or that 2, she was actually Kaz's friend.
Right.
She was just an asshole to him the entire first season.
Time.
And it was the storytelling was the character depth was so shallow. And then we get to season 2 and
trying to save her.
She did the classic take Agent Callus by contrast.
Right.
Way more convincing story. Callus was about as evil as it gets. He led and participated in the genocide of the Lasat people, Zeb species. Uses their own sacred weapon to defeat Zeb in combat. And later on ends up becoming a Fulcrum agent and joining the Rebel Alliance.
Yeah.
And that is believable to me. That I buy, because they did a lot better of a job of telling
why
that story.
I mean, you had the love scene between him and Zeb in the cave.
No. Here we go. This is why you got banned from the show. I'm gonna say it. Our stakeholders didn't want her in anymore. The board members said they didn't want her on the show because she kept saying that Zeb and Callus were huddling for warmth in the ice planet, and that now they're lovers. I'm like, no, it's not enemies to lovers. It is not.
Who's the board?
Board?
Is it Hunter?
It's Logan.
Logan doesn't count.
It's I don't know who promoted him, but yeah.
I don't know. Logan's just a bully. Love you.
Logan is a bully. Logan absolutely is a bully. Yeah.
That's messed up. Sorry, I have a creative mind and I believe in love. And you can check out my fan fiction. Tommy will link it.
That's crazy.
below. That I wrote.
Go to Wattpad.
Wrote a little.
It'll be JNat.
That's just a little one shot. 500,000 words. Of
a marvelous finger. There was one time we were looking up Star Wars fan fiction, and we found a Kanan and Hera one, and I think it got to the point where we both had to like, all right, we will never open this can of worms ever again. And I will forever now, every time I see Kanan, think of his marvelous fingers. That's all I will say.
Yeah, I won't say anything else.
No more context for that.
I want you to be monetized.
This is what pays the bills. This channel right here.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, Callus is a great character. Love him. And his little fuck-ass beard. Sorry.
Oh, that's our PG-13 rating. That's our one that we get.
Sorry.
Well, we get 3 now, right?
I don't know.
I don't know. Oh, well.
Sorry,
Anyway.
I forgot that was a swear word because I say it so often.
Like Shin Hati's Bob.
Yeah, I can't say it.
That's a joke we've been had, but yeah, as far as watching Star Wars though, so how do you think in chronological order, I guess the last thing I kind of want to hit on, did this affect your watch of the sequel trilogy at all? Watching everything in chronological order? Shows included? Do you think it added more to, like, I mean, a lot of people say Luke's story in The Last Jedi, very jarring from when we last see him in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, honestly.
Did this help it at all with, like, what we saw in the Book of Boba Fett and what we saw in The Mandalorian Season 2? Or does it just, we don't see any of the transition happen?
Yeah.
You know? Did it change it at all for you? Anything about the sequel trilogy? Did it help you enjoy it more?
Liked it less.
Oh! And the people are clapping in the comment section right now.
I actually fairly enjoyed it from what I remembered when I first saw it in the theaters.
Yeah.
Just like the vibe of it,
right.
And without any context.
Right.
I think with the context, I liked it less because I feel like they didn't put as much of that detail in that world building as they did in everything else. I feel like I've jumped on this soapbox before, but the way that the prequels even became really robust in that
good word.
Thank you. In that time period was because of all of the added things and the added shows and I mean even current shows like The Bad Batch only came out a few years ago. But that added to that world building, and there has been nothing for the sequels besides Resistance, which didn't world build at all.
Okay, so would you say, through watching it all, would you agree with what a lot of people say? A lot of Star Wars fans will tell you the best way to fix Star Wars is with more Star Wars.
I've said that before.
Yeah.
Me? I coined that.
I trademarked that.
Yeah, you owe me money.
I'm the franchise.
You owe me money because you just said that.
But I signed the prenup.
We're not getting divorced. Don't say that. Stop making jokes about that.
Stop.
It's not funny.
I'm just observing the chaos. So before this all devolves into chaos, what yeah, so you feel that Star Wars is helped by more supplemental Star Wars.
It all comes back to, okay, you had a disjointed story for the 3 sequel movies.
Right.
Okay, whatever. So were the prequels. When I first watched the prequels, they're pretty disjointed. You have this little kid, and then you have this moody teenager, and then you have a Sith Lord. And, like, you don't care... I mean, personally, I didn't care about Anakin just besides the fact that he was Hayden Christensen.
You know, you want to know what I just the other day I was thinking about? Having grown up with the prequel trilogy, this is not even something that ever crossed my mind, but could you imagine you're watching the prequel trilogy in the theater for the first time? Order 66 is happening. And then all of a sudden, here's Bail Organa, Senator Bail Organa from Alderaan, who we've never interacted with up until this point in the trilogy. All of a sudden, this guy shows up to the Jedi Temple, watches a Jedi get killed, and now he's like the one that helps Yoda and Obi-Wan escape and ends up being the adopted father of Princess Leia. It's like, this character comes out of nowhere in the second act of the film.
Is he not in Attack of the Clones?
He's in the other movies, but he doesn't have like any character like beats specifically on him. And then there are so many episodes and arcs that are he's a main character of in the Clone Wars. Right. Me growing up with the Clone Wars and the prequel trilogy, Bail Organa was just always a character that I accepted. Right. But it is little things like that, you know, obviously before my time. So I don't, you know, I can see how things like that, you could come off, because it's kind of how we felt with like the Acolyte and the sequel trilogy, is like, things just happen and there's no rhyme or reason for it. Right. Like, just this random senator shows up. And like, yeah, it's like the significance is that he ends up being the adopted father of Princess Leia. Right. But like, why did Obi-Wan trust him enough to give him... Like, why him? Yeah. Like, so, yeah, that's... No, that's a really good point, because... That was one I was just thinking of the other day, yeah. And so, invest in this franchise, right? Invest in what you have. Yeah, like, I think if they would have, instead of just abandoning ship when it wasn't really selling... which is kind of the vibe I've been getting, personally. That's what they've been doing, for the last 5 years they've been doing that. I mean, and then just like, okay, turn heel, we're gonna just do everything for what people want, which is prequels and OT and... Which I'm fine with that as well. Right, but like, as far as investing time and money into the movies that you invested millions of dollars... Right. Okay, the like merchandise isn't selling for that because the movies kind of were rocky. You have to, then like invest time into, okay, make an animated show. Right. Less money, less resources, but you can spend time with writers and build that out. And I think, okay, now it brings me to like my biggest qualm with Star Wars is investing in good writers. There's a drastic difference in the writing compared to like Clone Wars, a TV show made for children, made me bawl my eyes out multiple times because of the fantastic writing, fantastic character development, and world building. I didn't cry during Attack of the Clones at all. I genuinely only cried during Revenge of the Sith, during Order 66. I didn't cry, like, you know what I mean? It's just because I had just watched the Clone Wars and I was attached to the clones. Mm-hmm. Not even because Anakin turned to the dark side. Like, that's what I'm missing. And I think that was my biggest gripe with Acolyte was... We were in the kiddie pool the whole time. Where's the depth? Where's the writing? Same thing with multiple moments in the sequel trilogy, where it's like, what happened here? I know it's different writers, different people in the room, but are we not investing in the right people? Different people in the room is not bad. but some people shouldn't be in the room.
Right.
To begin with.
Right.
That's the problem.
I think there's too many people in the room.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Like, it's normal for an animated TV show, especially, to have, you know, a handful of writers and they kind of go between different storylines. Totally normal. But, like, for something that's a limited series like The Acolyte, should only be a couple of writers. For a very, like, straightforward...
Yeah. Murder mystery.
Yeah. What was it, like... 8 episodes, 9 episodes?
8 episodes, and then they had a writing room where they broke it up into pairs of episodes and had 4 different teams of people working on each pair of episodes.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Too many cooks in the kitchen. Yeah.
I mean, that's insane. Because there's no way for it to be have a flow to it if there's 20, 30 people working on this show.
And then not to mention, I mean, we've talked about this so heavily on this channel, the corporate meddling of suits and bean counters who know absolutely nothing about Star Wars and storytelling. They just know what the focus group told them will sell.
Right.
And so the passion goes out the window at that point.
And it just makes it really jarring when you have something like Andor, when you have all of the animated shows besides Resistance. You have
and maybe Tales of the Empire.
And
we don't think that's like the redheaded stepsister.
Yeah. Even like Mandalorian, you have these like really just beautifully written shows that expand the universe to a point where it brings meaning to different things that you've already known. It brings heart to scenes that didn't really mean anything to you before, but now it does. I mean, just watching Andor, we watched Andor season 1, watched Rogue One, watched A New Hope sequentially, and then we watched season 2 of Andor. Like, that alone, that sequence of writing, even no matter what you want to say about A New Hope, it all flowed together, even with a show or a movie that was almost 50 years old, you know? So that shows congruity to a point that we just don't see that with other shows where it's clearly a gimmick. And
is it congruency or congruity?
I think it's congruency.
I don't know why I hyperfixated on that one.
I messed up a word and Tommy had to point it out while I was on a flow. I was in flow state. I was in flow state and Tommy had to point out the fact that I said the word wrong. He does this every time.
Crazy.
Yeah, so that's just my opinion. Who's Yaz and why is she Snapchatting you?
Couldn't even tell you. I've been trying to figure out for 2 years now how to turn my random Snapchat notifications
off. Likely story. I mean, look at him. Doesn't he look like the kind that would...
Wow. I don't know whether to be complimented or insulted right now. In my lat hat.
In your lat hat. Come on.
The lat hat 2.0 to be specific.
Right.
The rarest of the iterations.
Rare.
It's gnarly.
Yeah. Don't. Don't. Because you...
Anyway. Anyway, let's get out of here. So I would say overall, I've always been a fan of watching in chronological order versus release order.
I forgot that was the main topic.
Bro.
What's going on?
And Jen, would you say you agree or disagree?
I agree.
I agree.
I knew you were going to do that too. Yeah, I think there is great value, especially if you are diving into the full universe and you're going to watch all the shows. Do it chronologically. If you're just casually like, I guess I should watch the movies because it's a cultural thing. This boy that I like. This boy likes Star Wars. Watch the original trilogy. Watch the prequel movies. You can skip the sequels. It's fine. In my opinion, sorry.
No, spit.
I just mean, like, if you're casually watching it because your boyfriend wanted an Obi-Wan lightsaber for Christmas, and you're like, I don't really know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Watch the OT, watch the prequels, move on. But if you're committed, if you're gonna do this 75 hard Star Wars edition,
75
this New Year's, we're locking in this New Year's. You're gonna watch Tales of the Jedi, all the prequel movies, Clone Wars movie. I'm trying to remember everything. The OT, Andor, Mandalorian,
Bad Batch,
Rogue One,
Rebels. It's too much.
Ahsoka. And then you can skip the sequel trilogy.
Skeleton Crew's goated.
Skeleton Crew was very fun.
Yeah. I
liked it a lot when I was watching it, and then when we did our ranking episode, when we finished everything, and it moved down in my ranking once I actually was, like, looking at at the options, because definitely, like, Andor and The Mandalorian are above Skeleton Crew, but for a moment, I was like, no, Skeleton Crew's goated. I'm like, yeah, no, it's great.
But,
old me, past me, weirdo.
But, all right, anything else you want to add to this conversation, Jen?
Watch Star Wars. Even, like, when you meet a boy, right, and you're
or
like,
a girl,
whatever,
or a person.
I'm talking to the women. Directly.
The women in Star Wars.
All the women that are listening to this.
We're getting woke talking to all the women watching this.
All the women watching this.
Literally every woman ever.
What's your percentage on your audience for male versus
it's probably
female?
like 98-2. 98 boys, 2% girls.
Okay, to the 2% of women that are watching this, when you meet a boy and he's, like, super into Star Wars to a point of, like, you need a second bedroom in your apartment so that he can put all his collectibles.
Yes.
Just dive in with be along for the ride. Watch it chronological order.
Oh, it's better than I thought. 94% male.
5.6%
female.
Wow, to the 5.6% of the females listening. Just dive in. Like, accept that it's going to take a long time, but you're going to bond over it. You're going to learn so much about the passion and the hobby that your significant other is, like, so into, so that you're not a lame loser girlfriend who doesn't support your significant other's interests, and you can actually enjoy it. Like, Tommy rattles off a lot of things that I have no idea what he's talking about, but I at least know, like, the difference between a Black Series action figure and a vintage collection action figure. I know that this is from Attack of the Clones, but I think it's more specifically for the 03 Clone Wars.
This version is a toy. Like a Hasbro toy.
Okay, forget I said anything.
But the Tiger Shark gunship is from the 03.
Yeah,
Yes.
so, like, I can listen, I can kind of pick. It's like when you've taken high school Spanish and you can pick up on a few of the words when you're listening to a fluent Spanish speaker.
Right.
You're like, oh, mañana, I know that one. Like,
I just said biblioteca. But, yeah. Biblioteca, my goat. Shout out my goat. La biblioteca. ¿Dónde está la leche?
Jeez Louise. Yeah, and in turn, I would hope that your significant other also shows the same support. Tommy's watched Pride and Prejudice with me. Mm-hmm. I forced him.
It wasn't bad. It was good.
See? Forced him to get married, you know.
That is true. Yeah.
Same interests.
Forced me to sign the prenup.
Yeah. So that's all I'm saying. Is just accept that you have a nerdy boyfriend and know that you are secure in your relationship, and it's only going to get better if you dive into the nerdiness with them.
Yeah.
That's my PSA.
Awesome. And with that, everybody, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the Blitzcast. If you did, Of course, make sure to subscribe on YouTube. Make sure to follow us on any platform that you see us on. And make sure to check out the Real Normal podcast. We'll be linked in the description below, as well as the Black Series Most Wanted. And with that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Blitzcast. I'll catch you for the next one, and
may the Force be with you.
Whoa!
Breaking all units, fire at will. 1-2, pick a target. Too many, Captain. Watch your stabilizer, Gold 6. Anybody cover me. I got 2 vultures on my tail. Gotta hold them here. Watch your left. I can't shake them. I'm hit. Where's our